This is Christine with Trustee Training Services and 13-month-old Ledger at Puppy Boot Camp. We're about to work on some guest manners. He successfully did place training when the guest entered, and we allowed some time and space to go by so that he does not connect guests entering with him interacting. But now that he has passed that test, it's time to give him the opportunity to interact. And our goal in this interaction is to teach him to take responsibility for keeping his excitement level below a certain threshold so that he can interact with the guests politely. Free. Sit. Good. The first thing I'm going to do when I bring him off of place is just wait until he looks like he is calm. And I'm going to know when he's ready by his ability to focus steadily on me. So right now I can tell that he's just a little bit too excited, and so I want to wait till I see him stop fidgeting. If a dog is fidgeting, it usually means their mind is moving too quickly, and they're not going to be as apt to process information well. So we're just going to give him a moment to settle his brain before we get going. Heel. Sit. Good. All right, at this point, I'm going to bring him a little closer to the first guest, and we'll see if we can have him politely interact. Heel. Good. You can go ahead and pet him. That's all. We're working on him not being quite so licky. Sit. Good boy. And we'll work on enforcing the sit. So I'm going to give his brain sit something positive to think about so that he's less likely to choose behaviors that we don't want. So giving him positive direction is one way to avoid needing to give him more correction. You can go ahead and pet him again, see how he does with that. That's better. We can see that he brought his excitement level down just a little bit more this time. He's handling the interaction better. Also, a loose leash is really essential because the more tension I place on the leash, the more excitement I bring to the dog. So it's important that he does not feel any leash tension unless he begins to do something that I don't want him to do, at which point I need to use the leash to communicate. Otherwise, I want the leash to be loose so that he is making choices without my help. I want him to take responsibility for his behavior. All right? If one of you would like to volunteer to come up and pet him. Good. Good. You can greet him.
Hi, Roger. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Roger.
Very good. I'm watching his excitement level more than anything because that's going to be the greatest predictor of what he will do with his actions. So as long as he maintains a low level of excitement, I know he's not going to engage in any of the behaviors that we do not want, such as jumping on the guest. Next volunteer, Trustee, go lie down. All right.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. Not for your petting, but just for his licking. So I'll work on his licking while you pet him. That's what we want to see. We want to see him acknowledge the person. And we don't want him to be emotionless, but we do want him to maintain emotional control of himself. Something that I probably would not allow is for him to roll on his back. So if he tries to roll over on his back, I will use the leash to cue him to get more into an upright position. Because if he rolls on his back and he's like most puppies, he'll get just a little bit silly on us. That's very good. Very good. Thank you so much. All right, we have one more person who can come interact with him. He does. Itchy ears.
Yeah.
He did an excellent job with all his interactions. On the first interaction, he started to get a little bit excited, but by forcing his brain to focus on maintaining the sit, that was helpful to him, and it was a way for me to cap his excitement level, because if he had to think about sitting, he couldn't think as much about overexciting with the interaction. And with these last interactions, he did even better. We want to see a dog do better and better with each interaction, not worse and worse. And we want to see them consistently make forward progress in capping their own excitement level and making good choices with as little help from us as possible. This is Christine with Trusty Training Services, training built on trust. Happy training.